critical mass now, and we need to make sure that Young Living is out there representing our folks, making sure that you guys have the right materials, the right products, and just a voice at the table. And so what can we do to get together and make sure that you guys have a voice as well, and that you have an ear to have somebody listen to you. So Christina met up with me on a cruise that we had just even a month ago. And so sorry to do a haphazard, but it's because it came together at the last minute, and we thought the convention was the right time to capture critical mass. So thanks so much for your flexibility of being here. May not be perfect, but we're all in the room, so we're gonna make it fun, right? Thanks a lot. Next slide. This is my husband, Todd. We have been married for 27 years. This is actually our fifth company together, working together. We were all together. We're both electrical engineers undergrad. Anyway, worked at Xerox, Procter & Gamble, Johnson & Johnson, Amway for 8 years, and then now here. This is our last stop because we got a lot of work to do. All right, so I'm going to introduce the corporate side, and you're going to introduce our field side, right? So Irving could not be here today for religious practices to celebrate the Sabbath, and he can't be here today. But just want you to know you have 2 African Americans on your executive team at Young Living. By the way, Young Living is actually the most diverse company in Utah. We have over 50% of our leadership team are women, and you got out of 8 people on the executive team, you have 2 African Americans in this book. So for a corporation of our size, we are represented.
We should look about Urban. They were able to recruit him from Coca-Cola in Atlanta and come to Salt Lake City, where he was the head of the digital team for Coca-Cola. So now we have him in our team.
So we talk about digital strategy and outreach to our folks. You got critical mass at the table. Terry Gibson couldn't be here today, but he's in a sales organization, digital sales for US. Leslie, you'll hear from her later on today. She's phenomenal. She knows all of our products. She works here as my admin. And I was like, okay, if you are here in this role as my admin for more than a year, we got issues. Because she has so much skill that we figured we're going to get her somewhere else. And my husband stole her. Man, but that's the right place to go because he's responsible for a lot of knowledge, product knowledge, and education, training and education, as well as other responsibilities. And so having her on his team helps get information out to you about product knowledge. Sandalay is country manager from South Africa. Is Sandalay here? Okay, all right, yeah. So you'll get a chance to meet him later. If you get a chance to go to South Africa, or if you are in the area and you want to visit, give us a call and we'll arrange for a tour and maybe even a possibly give you the farm out there. All right. Nikki Walker, where's Nikki? This is the most popular woman out here out of what color it is. She has given Young Living more publicity in the past year than I think we've had in the history. Well, before Nikki came to Utah, people didn't know who Young Living was. Now, we started the official world business, and that other company had more recognition than us. That has changed since this woman's come on.
You're not related.
No relation. I get last name. I get offended quite a bit because everyone says, "Oh, I made your daughter Nikki." I'm like, no, you know.
Too young to be my mom.
I'm old. Yes, I'm too young to be your mom. And my husband, as I mentioned, Todd Walker. He's responsible. He's VP of Global Sales and has training, education, recognition, and this is something else.
Live Your Passion Rally.
Live Your Passion Rally.
Professional accounts.
Yes. So Cheatham, take a come to stage. You kind of stand back just a few inches so you don't get interfered with the speakers. Here you go.
All right, we're running behind time, so I'm not going to go through every single person in here, but I just want to let everyone know that we put together a leadership panel so that everyone can feel included. We want to make sure that we're men. We want to make sure that there are people of all levels, executives that are killing it, golds, platinums, diamonds, and RCDs. So when we get to our leadership panel, they'll all give you an introduction of exactly who they are so that you can get to know them. Next slide.
And just, I think, you know, it's worth, before we go to objectives, just thank you. We said,
so I did have so I guess this is my little intro
Yes.
part. So Kayla, can you come over here for a second? So for those of you that didn't see the Zoom, in Michigan, we always start all of our meetings with oils, and so I just want to explain to you in the language that we understand oils what we're here to do. So we're going to pass these oils, keep them passing while we go to the next thing. But these are the objectives in the language of oils. So part of it, we're going to have some voice here, right? So I'm going to pass valor to everybody. Everybody puts on because we are going to speak our truth, and we are going to be heard today. After that, we are also going to have some release. So we need to release something. And then one of the most important parts about today is joy, the celebration part, right? We have so many people in here who are winning. So we are going to celebrate all the people that are winning, and we are going to learn from them. And then we're all going to leave with abundance. We're all going to leave with abundance because we're going to have more information. And then we're going to be transformed. And then the last point is higher unity. Higher unity. We're going to leave here all united. One of my main goals for this is for all of us to follow each other and all of us to create content because there's not enough out there. If there are 125 people in this room and we all agree to create content once a week and we all share it, by this time next year, there will be 6,500 videos and blog posts, and we will trend this, and it will be the cool thing to do, and we will all rank up.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. So I just want to again thank Keisha. We were actually on the cruise, and we're like, I've been wanting to connect with her for a while. And I said, let's do some breakfast. We had a little breakfast and had this discussion. And like Lauren said, this is not our way to bright, but sometimes it's better to instead of having perfect, do it. And so let's get us together. So on that note, I think Lauren mentioned I'm her husband. I just like teasing people. I say, no, it's Nikki. Nikki's my wife. So, but this is a beautiful view. All right, this is an absolutely beautiful view, and I just can't wait for it to be much more beautiful, much larger. And we know the capability is there, and so hopefully this is a start to kind of get some energy going and figure out some things and get some actions in place that we begin to change this trajectory, right? I think about the objectives. So one of the objectives is met. You hear me when together, right? That is the first objective, and it's about enabling us to network. The reality is that we have some absolute winners in this room. All of us are winners for being here, but those who have been successful in the business, you may have a couple of tips. The reality is because we're so scattered, you don't know who they are, right? And so this is about at least getting you in contact with resources from a corporate standpoint, from a leadership standpoint in the field, where you can begin to build more of a network. And so this is part of the objective here. And there may be some best practices that we can hear from the panel as we move forward. Another clear objective is really to showcase our leaders. And so, who has had success with the young women business. Here's the reality of it. The reality is that as John Maxwell said last night, we got some amazing clips from him afterwards. We actually went backstage and we did an interview with him to capture some nice learnings that we'll package for one of the upcoming Leader Passion rallies, right? So look out for that. But what he talked about was that, you never stop learning. You never stop growing. And so the reality is, even with our leaders here today, there's absolute room for continued growth. And this is what this is about. And then lastly, it's really been able to forum to collect feedback from you. Right? How can we capitalize on this amazing opportunity that you all know, but no one else knows? This is a very, very important objective for all of us. And I think it was Nikki who said the one in purple. We really want to make sure that we understand the challenges, right? Understand the challenges and opportunities to spread the word, share young living, and build strong businesses in our communities. We know there's an opportunity, and we know that there is a lack of awareness, and also a lack of prioritization on health and wellness, right? And doing things for ourselves. And so, how do we actually better share this amazing opportunity that you know about and that we need more in our community to know about? So that's a quick look at what we see as objectives. Really quickly, Thank you so much. So here's a quick look at the agenda, right? And I love that it takes the village. I think someone mentioned it earlier. We need to make sure that we hashtag everything you do with hashtag #WildVillage. Hashtag #WildVillage, right? And we'll go back to that later. But quickly, we want to go through. I want to throw something out here. Okay? We are short of time. The idea here is because we didn't have much room. Again, we try to pull this together quickly. We have lunch back there. Question I want to throw to you, almost an article. Do we want to break, mingle? Okay.
So there's plenty of at the end we'll have
We'll promise them that we should. We'll save some at the end because I know by then you will be hungry. So we'll do that after. Awesome. So we're going to flip that script a bit. And then Leslie is a action mastermind. It's funny because Lauren met Leslie in Malaysia. Lauren was in Malaysia working with some operations strategy work, and she saw Leslie in the office. She goes, huh? For young living? So let's understand what you do. She was training there. I saw Leslie in Indonesia training the staff there when they opened the market. And so right away we said, okay, we got to figure out how we leverage this unbelievable talented resource. You'll hear from her later. She's quite amazing. And she's the leader of our global training education team. Then we'll quickly go dive into a leadership panel. We'll hear from some leaders here. And Nikki will kind of moderate that. And then we want to open the forum up, right? We want to open up the stage and really hear from you around, like, well, what do you see as opportunities? What do you see, what would you like to see as actions that we could take? It's absolutely a wonderful networking opportunity, but also we really want to get some insight to fuel strategically how we capitalize on this opportunity. I will quickly say the business case, we have to do some analysis. Unfortunately, Terry's not here. Terry he's the regional sales manager for the US, and he has a lot of data, and unfortunately wasn't able to join us. But I can take the business case really quickly. When I go to Chicago, when I go to Houston,
Atlanta,
when I go to
Detroit,
and speak in front of 1,500 people, and that's all.
on one hand, to count on one hand, we got a problem.
Don't get me wrong. I like to see people who look like me, but also from a business opportunity, we're missing the mark. Because you're missing the mark as well, right? And so as a company, we're missing the mark, and you're missing the mark, and I'm actually not too excited about all the amazing, we do have a couple. We have a couple. I'd like to see more, right? So that for me is the business opportunity, and I think we can craft that. That's the qualitative view. We can do some absolute quantitative business case development for our organization to share. There's an opportunity that we're leaving on the table, right? So that's the business case for me. And then lastly, we'll wrap up. All right?
If I could just add a couple logistics things. If you have a seat next to you, please raise your hand. If there's a bag on that seat, take it off, please, because we have people standing. It was very clear we needed to fill every seat here.
We have a couple seats here.
And then during the network section, we were able to wrangle life science publishers. We have 2 authors here and their books available. So during the network section, please make sure that you go visit there.
Woman with beauty, let her sit down.
One here.
And just as we're setting up a contact, seat available or questions? Okay.
We have that covered.
Okay.
To get everybody's information.
No. Just so personally, just so you know, I'm a resource for you in terms of my role. We talked about earlier: global sales and member experience. That's live your passion rally. That's training and education. That's recognition and rewards. And it's also professional accounts and global member services. So those are my responsibilities. So if you have challenges, issues, suggestions, I like to hear them. All right?
Todd, before you get off, he's a selfie king. You got to do a selfie on stage with all of us.
This is the best looking selfie I've ever done. I'm in the boat.
Can you get up on stage? Can you see him? You got to get on stage. You got to get on stage.
That wasn't it. We are. How do you do this? I don't know how to do this selfie.
Yeah, sure.
I already did 5,000 before. Okay. See? Up. Up. I don't see Lori.
Okay.
That's beautiful. That's good. Woo! All right. Leslie, it's yours. Mike, we want this.
That one right there. She's right there.
Okay.
All right, are we? Yes. We're on. Okay. Thank you, Todd. No. You gotta have trousers or something to pin that on. Okay. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Chef. On stage. We can't see her. On stage.
Yes.
Let me get set up and situated.
Quick introduction. We have the general manager for South Africa.
Kendall Morgan.
And country manager or assistant country manager.
Okay.
Sunday. So if we have questions afterwards about South Africa, these are your guys.
But the other thing too is that South Africa, but they're also going to help expand all of Africa. So.
Yes. My slides, right?
Okay.
Hold up. Slides. Gotta carry what you need. That's what my grandma used to say. Carry what you need.
Well, we know you
Is that CBD?
because you can't hold it.
But before I was busted, I saw some of your eyebrows. I was checking how
What are you doing?
Isn't that interesting? Isn't it fascinating? Some of you were still me mugging me. Just because I almost lit this crayon. So we all decided this would be a health hazard? A
Yes.
risk?
Yes.
Okay. How many of you are still bleaching your socks and underwear? Just asking a rhetorical question. Rhetorical question. Okay? Essentially making a nicotine patch with worse chemicals and putting it on the largest pores that you have on the bottoms of your feet and on your sensitive areas to absorb throughout the day. We all know, collectively, that this is not a smart thing to do. Lighting a crayon or tobacco. My name is Leslie Lewis, and I'm the head of Young Living's Global Education. And I am fascinated with the concept of how information and knowledge can change not only individual behavior, but a collective awareness, and eventually culture and community. Not so many years ago, I would have done this, and the only comment would have been like, okay, you're holding it wrong, let me help you out. During our breaks, the outsides would be crowded with people on smoke breaks. Not that long ago, doctors were telling people that this is good for your respiratory system. It helps improve your lung capacity as you're breathing in and out, fumigating. Isn't that interesting? How as a culture, as a community, as even I'd say a species, our awareness of these things has changed. You've got to go some pretty far out places before people don't know the harm in this. I was in the Philippines not too long ago and saw their packets of cigarettes. No, I've never bought one, I've never smoked one, obviously. But I saw their packs of cigarettes and they've got these grotesque photos on them of lung damage, of a fetus being damaged by a smoking mother, things like that. I thought, ooh, why would you do that? It's because of illiteracy. So they want everybody to know, to understand the choice that they're making. Okay, that's the power of information and knowledge transmitted. So today, I am so pleased to be with you on a mission to abolish some of the mental slavery that comes from ignorance about essential oils in our community. So I organized this presentation into 3 myths, and the only way you can find freedom, the only way you can abolish a myth is to find the facts that disprove that. So I'm going to share some common myths in our community and the facts that completely disprove those. Sound good? Yes. All right. So myth number 1. Where am I pointing this thing? There we go. All right, got it. Slide answer. I should have handed it to you. Sorry, Bob. Myth number 1. We ready? Make some noise if you've heard something similar to this before. Essential oils. Oh, that's a luxury thing. It's not for us. Okay? Now, whether it's been in actual verbal form where somebody's actually told you this, or it's just the mentality and you can see that they're not accepting the message that you have to share with them or the truth that you have for them because they've got this type of blockage going on mentally, it's prevalent. It's all over our community. And in order to change that, it takes a village of us who are empowered with information and knowledge to share and change what people are thinking. So let me drop a little bit of knowledge about this lie. The fact is, Africa is a beautiful place. It's a beautiful continent. It's diverse in its botanicals. Africa's a large place, so many different countries, and every country has a history and a heritage and a tradition of using herbs to inform their health, their wellness, their spirituality, their mental and emotional well-being. All over the world, many cultures that have recorded history anciently that's surviving today, there's some record of them using plants and herbs to inform their wellness. Africa is no different. Now, when you take most of us, if you're like me, your heritage in the United States started on a boat. We're not talking a cruise ship. Okay? And so those people who came over, not by choice, were not brought here ignorant of plants and how to use them. And that seems to be, I grew up in Arkansas, okay? And it seems to be a thing that healthy lifestyle, fresh fruits and vegetables, plant-based nutrition, and all of those things, that's not really for us. And it breaks my heart when I hear that because I know that it's not true. I know the truth is that slaves were brought over. They were skilled labor. They knew the plants. They knew the herbs. They knew how to use them. Let's talk about the tribes, top 10 tribes that were brought over. They weren't the warriors, because we know what happened when you try to go capture a warrior tribe, right? They weren't the hunters. Many times they were farmers. They had plant-based diets. Then they were brought over. And they continued to do what they knew to inform their health and wellness because their health care was even more jacked than what ours is. So they didn't have it at all. They had to care for themselves, especially the elderly who were not seen as valuable in the workforce. Their owners were not investing in taking care of their health, so they had to do it themselves, and they used plant medicine. Here's some facts. So I'm not just making this up, just so you guys know. What are some of the plants that they used? Anybody? Anybody? Okay, wait. Let's do it this way. This will be more fun, right? Anybody in the room think you can name these 6? Because there are dozens. But here are 6 that are well documented that they used. And I can tell you, because we've got pictures of herbs, thank you, Judy Hunter, I can tell you some of the ways that they use these things and what they used it for. Okay, raise your hand if you think you can name all 6. Anybody? Anybody? Any takers? Okay, raise your hand if you think you can name 5. 5? Okay, 5. Right here. Let's try it. Go ahead. We got you.
Okay.
What do you see that you know?
Okay,
Pine, right here. Basil, top middle.
Yes. Is that dill?
No, it's in the dill family.
Oh, fennel?
Okay, you phoned a friend. Good job. Yes?
Sage. There we go.
Well, I can't give her a prize. Okay. Sage. And what else?
I don't know. I'm second guessing myself.
You're with family. You're with family. Okay. So she got 4.
She's surprised.
That's pretty awesome. Okay. See, this is why I wasn't up on the stage. I left all my stuff in my bag. All right. What about these two? Anybody know these two? There we go. Who said black pepper? Okay, you are correct, madam. And right over here. Anybody? Nope. Ooh, elderberry. Good guess. We don't have that oil, so I didn't put it on here. Here you are. Okay, so she's got a vitality. And the one here that is not vitality is the one that we're struggling to identify. That is a young wintergreen plant. Okay, and so they were involved in slave labor, which I don't know if you've heard wasn't a lot of fun, right? So they were working manual labor, long hours. They were actually using these herbs, grinding them up, and making tinctures and different remedies for themselves. They would use this to treat sore muscles. They would use it to, should I keep going or should I? Yes. Party on. Lights on or off, doesn't matter. Okay, we're doing this. So yes, they would use a combination of these plants and many, many more. So many documented records of what plants they would use. But these here they would use to reduce fever, to treat arthritis, to even help with a lot of the diseases that were kind of going around and safeguard their children. Now, the ruling class at the time said that it was voodoo. They said it was witchcraft. They used anything that they could to downplay the value and the knowledge, the skill and the wisdom that these skilled practitioners were using to heal themselves, their families, and their community. But when you see results, but when you see results, you can't argue for too long. And so many of these voodoo doctors, they would call them, were actually asked to treat a lot of their owners and their families. Many of them even won their freedom and freedom for their own family through knowledge about how to use plants. That's our heritage with plant-based medicines, plant-based solutions. So when you hear somebody say that that's not for us, that's a white thing, you have to love through that ignorance enough to help them see the truth. Deal? Yep. Yeah. So here's some of the facts, right? So I was saying I am not making this stuff up. I didn't just download that from above. There's actually quite a bit of literature about this. So African medicinal plants, African American slave medicine, secret cures of slaves. This is one of my favorite books. And you see all the plants on the cover. So you know what their secrets were. Working the root, over 400 years of traditional African American healing. This one covers several different modalities and how they used plant bases informed with other types of healing. Working cures, healing health and power on southern slave plantations. Ready for myth number 2. Myth number 2. We're too stubborn, we won't change. Don't even try. I don't even grow my business in our community. I'm sick of us. Too stubborn. I've heard people say this to me, and I love them enough and through the frustration because it's a valid experience for them. But I hope that I can transmit some of that love through them so that they can turn and love their community enough to see where they are and meet people where they are. So I want to poll the audience. Here's where it gets controversial. Dun, dun, dun. I have this listed as a myth, but what do you think?
I don't think so.
True or false?
False.
True. Speak your truth. Speak your truth. We are too stubborn to change. Okay, true? False. True? Okay, I'm like,
Both. Both.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Can be both. We are too stubborn to change. How powerful is that if we're standing on the truth? How powerful is that if we're standing on the truth? You can tell me something. You can tell me, you can label me with your diagnoses and what you use, the vocabulary you use to define me. And that's fine for you. But I know my truth and I'm not about to change for you. Okay, so there's a little bit of both, right? Every individual's experience, every individual's journey must be honored. Okay? And so if you have gotten into it the way I've gotten into it, at Thanksgiving, or, you know, at what's supposed to be a fun family lunch or whatever, and they walk to you and they're like, you know what I hate about you oily people? It's like, go ahead, tell me what you hate. If you've had those situations where you're hoping to bless, you're hoping to share something that'll help, and it's taken as you're trying to tell me how to raise my kid, or, okay, I see you nodding, we've all been in those situations. It's just that. It's just a situation. It's not the whole of reality, it's a situation. And they're in the middle of a process and a journey just like you are. And so, here's the fact. Are we all agreed that this is true? Yes. Okay, my parents, both born and raised in Arkansas. They are stubborn. I get it honest, is what they say. And I thought that they would never change. The way to allow someone to accept new information is not to try to shove it down their throat. You guys know that? Okay, and so stubborn, it's a label, all right? And it fits in just kind of wherever it happens to fit in that day. I thought my parents would never change. Then I come to find out, my mom says essential oils don't work. I know they don't work. I've tried them. I was given some by a friend. She said it would help with a certain situation. I tried it several times, hoping and praying, and nothing happened. I said, what oil did you use? She showed me the bottle. It had a D on it. Yes, I just read about my own mother. It had a D on it. D for disappointment. D for that. D for didn't work. And I mean, I worked at the time for someone who can supply, spends every day making sure we have access to the highest quality oils in the world. And if you don't understand that quality impacts benefits and what it's able to do, okay, the results are absolutely determined by the quality that you're using. And so I listened, and I thought, okay, that was her experience. Her stubbornness having to do with oils had to do with her own experience, a truth that she had learned. And it was true that what she had tried did not work. Eventually, and okay, now I'm thankful that she learned for herself. It didn't take me saying, oh, you know, their oils don't work. Okay? I didn't have to do it because she learned for herself. And through time and different situations, okay, so that didn't work for her. She wasn't willing to try what I had to offer until another situation with blemishes came up. And then she was all ready to try what I had. And she did, and it worked. So then I gave her, that opened an opportunity, life opened an opportunity for me to share more and more and more. And now, my mom is the Young Living distributor. So, are we stubborn? Yes. But this is a fact, okay? Last myth, because I'm so out of time. But we're gonna run through this one really quick because I wasn't quite sure it was legal anyway. Okay, so we've heard this. They're too expensive. I can find somewhere. I can make my, I have a garden. Literally, this is a true story. Literally, I have a garden. I can, and I know how to. Okay, let's just talk real quick about a situation because there's cost and there's value. And cost is associated with a lot more than just dollar bills, right? Okay, so here's an example I came up with since nobody has reviewed this presentation. Nobody's conduct is interesting this. It's a private event, it's just a family gathering, right? Okay, so Pepto-Bismol. How much does it cost? $6.38. It has 15 doses in it. This is the Walmart price, y'all. And then that's about 42 cents per dose. It has 5 claims on it, 5 symptoms that it can relieve for just under 50 cents. Is that affordable? Right? Okay, we're using it, so yes. Yes, it must be. Especially if you're experiencing any one of those 5 symptoms that this can take care of, then yes, you're willing to trade that 50 cents all too readily. That's interesting information, right? Okay, now moving on to a completely different subject.
Wow.
Facts. Facts. Okay. You guys hear all that quiet? That was the sound of me not saying anything non-compliant. I love my job. I'd like to keep it. All of these myths are symptoms of broken thinking. Broken thinking that we didn't necessarily choose for ourselves, because the truth is, ignorance takes away from you freedom because it removes your ability to choose. If you don't know any better, you cannot make a choice. Therefore, you are a captive of mental slavery. When we are in this state, we're not able to choose for ourselves the freedoms that we know are our birthright. We're not able to choose what we know inside of us. We know we can feel that there's better for us. And that's in our place of truth. We talked about herbs as medicine, but they were not just medicine for the physical body. They were also medicine for the soul, for the spirit. And our roots, if we go far enough back, our people know this. There are so many Young Living products that I use to inform and strengthen my emotional and spiritual practice. One of the most difficult things I have struggled with coming of age in our community is coming into myself and realizing my truth, standing in my truth, okay? At home, when I'm meditating and it's quiet, I know my truth. And then I go to work, I happen to work in Utah, and sometimes it's like, okay, well, I know my truth, but I'm not about to put it on display or share it with you. You know, these are broken ways of thinking that allow the weakness in us to accept those myths. Good. Sometimes we question them in ourselves. I made this presentation and I still sometimes question some of those myths because they're so prevalent. They've been shared so much. But I have been able to use essential oils to help break those chains. One of my favorite oils to use is Release. Gary formulated Release to help remove blockages in our bodies and even help us on a cellular level to release negativity, broken ways of thinking, traumas that have been stored within us, and some of them have even been transmitted generationally. And so as a community, what a resource, what a relief it is to know that we have the power and the assistance to help us get to where we need to be, to where we want to be. I have some audio here of Gary talking about Release, and then I have a gift for you guys. Where's Melinda? We do have a gift.
There's a lot of toxic stuff in the body. Very, very much so. And so it can be just as important for releasing the negative emotions as releasing the negative toxins. And it really is powerful there. So when you're applying it, another thing that's quite important is if you're visualizing with this, each time you apply the oil, if you visualize release and letting things go and releasing it, then that's even that much more support to the entire frequencies that's going on within your body. And apply it over the liver, apply it to the liver contact point on the bottom of the right foot. You can look on a Vitaflex chart, Young Living Vitaflex chart, or just a reflexology chart. If you're not sure, just rub it all over the bottom of the right foot. You'll have the same effect. And again, when applying the oils, allow yourself 10 minutes between each oil application. You don't have to, but it's nice and it's wise if you can, because you'll find that sometimes it takes a few minutes for the oils to have an effect, particularly if you have been hanging on to these emotions a long time.
Okay. Thank you, Gary. All right, so we have a gift for you from Young Living Corporate.
Thank you.
Thank you. Or you can put it on the bottom of your right foot. If you don't know that VitaFlex point, Google it. The other place you can put it on is on your right hand. So you can open your bottle right now. You know, these are not to hoard and take home and keep for the memory while I have a microphone. The only limitation of your oils is the white cap that's on the top. You have to open them up. You have to use them. You have to get them on your body. You have to get them into the spaces that you occupy so that they can make change. That's a 5 ml bottle. It's approximately 90 drops. 3 drops a day. That's your 1 month supply. Empty the bottle, guys. Okay? So the other place you can put it, I see Karen doing it. Right now, we're going to apply it together. Because I want you to breathe, self-check, and then apply to your temples and just feel the difference. This is one of my favorite oils to share because you can feel it. Okay, just dab it right here on your temples and take a breath. Okay, right there on the temples and dab right there and take a breath. Another great place, the right hand. So he said the liver. There are VitaFlex points for the liver on the feet, also on the hands. So right here, if you go like that, it's right where your pinky nail lands on your hand, right there. Okay, take your thumb on your left hand and just kind of squeeze right there for about 20 seconds. Just pulse it like that. Closing thought, last thing I want to share with you is the gratitude that I feel for the work that you have done in our communities already. The gratitude that I feel when I connect up, when I pray, when I meditate, I can feel the gratitude of our ancestors, seeing that we are truly the leading edge of all the hopes and dreams they ever hoped for. Biologically, we are the leading edge of everything that they suffered through, everything that they did, hoped for, dreamed, suffered. Our life is the result. It's the leading edge. Let's make it count. Let's change the myths. Okay, I did the release first, so my point will land, right? Okay, so let's make it count. What you do with your life, what you do in the communities, what you do to abolish these myths. Because it takes a village, right? And it starts here with us, but it grows very quickly. Thank you so much.
Oftentimes, where's Leslie? She's up in the Jared's office, right? Because she has a perspective that really is a pretty profound perspective around the oils that many of us in corporate, frankly, we don't have, right? In fact, she's developing a training program that we may want to bounce some ideas off of you and get some feedback on, a global training program that she was called in Mary's office, I guess, was it 4 days ago? Friday. and she actually shared the module with Mary, and Mary said it was the best birthday gift she could have. Wow. What's the name of the module, by the way?
Essential oils for spiritual and emotional well-being.
All right. So let's shift gears, and Nikki is going to kind of facilitate for us the panel.
Good afternoon, folks. We feeling good? Yes. Are we releasing? Yes. Are we transforming? Yes. Do we have joy? Yes. All right, we're going to continue this. Now we're going to bring to the stage a panel of exciting folks who have really worked this business and not for profit. We do everything here for purpose. So we're going to bring up some folks that are full of purpose, and we're going to talk, and we're going to spread this joy, and we're going to spread this information. So I kind of see everybody, but maybe not. So I'm just going to call out names. in order, as I have been instructed. So I'm going to ask you when I call names to give a rousing applause. So the first person on this leadership panel is going to be our ambassador, Mr. Stevie Baggs Jr. Everybody's energy. Is that okay? Yep. Is that okay? I wasn't supposed to sit there. Okay. So here we are. We're going to take 2 minutes to share a brief overview of the journey. So folks, 2 minutes is 2 minutes. Okay? Okay. So we're going to start with Stevie, and what we're going to do is listen to the panel talk to us about what brought them to Young Living, because if you know anything about Young Living, and I'm sure you all do, Young Living brings itself to the people to whom it belongs. We did not choose this, it chose us, and we need to stand in that fact. So, can we start with you, Mr. Baggs?
I have to stop by, so.
I appreciate you.
No, I'm just playing. So listen, first and foremost, I want to thank each and every one of you all for being here today. I want to thank the universal God for allowing us to come together for a vision such as this. And when I say God, I'm not talking about isms and isms. Because the God that I'm talking about don't need to be validated by anybody. What I'm so excited for is today we represent a nation that's in a nation looking for a nationality. Let me say that again. We're a nation within a nation that's looking for a nationality. So others might say, well, why are y'all meeting by yourself? We don't have a flag to represent us in this country. But we have a celestial DNA. The universal God gave us something that the universal God gave us something that nobody else possesses. We're the only people in the world whose hair grows up to God. I'm serious. Right. Once we recognize our power, then we'll be able to transcend. But if you stay locked into the programming and the manipulation, then you'll stay in bondage. So in all you're getting, don't just get understanding because you're standing up. You need to get some overstanding. And then you need to get some understanding. Understanding is an interpersonal truth that you can only get from the universal God. You can't get that from man. So I encourage you to use a new gun to fight with. That's God, universal nature. When you tap into that weaponry, then you can abolish any negativity, any hate, and what Gary Young stood for, as I was in his home with him marrying the boys a couple years ago, was the first time that I was around a billionaire that had a type of spirit that superseded worldly wealth. And so for me, with that type of integrity, that's why I go so hard for Young Living, because I represent a universality in life, even though I'm melanated. I want to challenge y'all, stop calling yourself black. If you look up the origin of this word, you'll find out that it means you're colorless. You're the most colorful people in the world. So I want you guys to start doing research, and instead of holding on to tradition, get some truth. Instead of holding on to religion, get righteousness. My name is Stevie Baggs Jr. Thank you.
Don't pass the mic yet, Stevie. I'm going to ask Stevie to give one tip that you want to give to this room. I feel like he gave us 6.
So the oils are super. Just imagine, y'all, if you ate super every day instead of supper. You know what I'm saying? The oils put super on your natural, and it gives you supernatural ability to do the things you couldn't do before that ability was put on your ability. So put the super on your natural every day.
Thank you, Stephen. We're going to get you to say your name one more time, and then you're going to tell us about your journey into Young Living.
All right. Well, I'm Karen Douglas, and I am so blessed to be here. And it is such a blessing to see all of you, because when I started, right, Sister Karen Malone? It was the Karens. A few of us, just a few. It is so good to see so many of you. As the first African American female, because I have to go female because these guys were here first, but the first female diamond, it is such an honor, and I do give all the praise and glory to King Jesus. I truly do. And my journey has been such an amazing blessing. I did not intend to build this business, first of all, because I had no idea it was a business. I just started using the essential oils just to be a blessing to my family. I knew there was a better way to live. The Lord had shown it to me, and that's what my intention was. And then one day, after having my now 14-year-old daughter, a couple months after she was born, I came to find out that this was a business. And I said, wow. I went to a class that my upline, who was Deborah Rayburn, she's not only my upline, but she's my personal sponsor. And we were friends before Young Living, so we've been friends for years. She shared this with me as a business, and I was mesmerized. I was the last one in the class, and I sat there, because my husband and I had been praying, because he had been laid off from his corporate job, and that he'd been with for almost 18 years, and we were like, Lord, what do we do? What do we do? In that class, my husband wasn't there. He was fishing with the boys. The Lord said to me, this is your business right here. And I said, really, Lord? He said, yes, this is it. So literally, at 4 years of using oils, it was right under my nose. Literally, with the smell of oils, my business was there. And so I said, Lord, you got to beat me home and tell that man that this is what you want us to do. And of course the Lord did. I shared it with my husband, and he said, okay, honey, I got you. You know, we could do this. I got your back. And we started going from there. And it has been an incredible journey that has blessed my life more than I can ever imagine, more than I could have ever imagined. It has taken me places that I only dreamed. I have met people that I never would have thought I would have met, most of you for that matter, because if I hadn't done this, I wouldn't be here meeting you all. And so I love this business with all my heart. It has truly blessed me. It has seen me through some highs and some lows, lows that When my husband passed away suddenly, it's been 10 years now, my heart is healed and is completely well. Love that man. He knew the compensation plan so much better than I did, because I didn't really care. I just wanted to share with people.
It's up.
Okay. It's over. I love this business. To God be the glory.
We're going to come back to you. And then we're going to get a tip from Karen, please.
I'm Sabrina Edge. I got into the oils because one of my really good friends, my royal crown diamond, Joanna Malone, invited me over for lunch. And she knew I was going through a lot. I'm a single mom. I was going through the toughest time of my life. Having a little baby, not knowing where I was going to get funds to, I kept praying. I kept saying, God, show me, I need a second income, because I'm a flight attendant. I work weekends, and that's it. And I wasn't going to be able to pick up any shifts like I used to be able to keep compensating everything. And I was like, I have no idea how I'm going to do this. I have no idea how I'm going to take care of a little baby. I had to move back in with my parents, and she was like, come over, let's have lunch. And she was like, I want you to smell these oils that I have. And I'm like, I had tried a little bit of another company and was with them for a little while and was like, that isn't for me, that business isn't for me, because I didn't like how they were. And so I kept using their oils a little bit, but then I went over to her house and smelled Peace and Calming for the first time. And the emotional release I had when I smelled Peace and Calming was like no other. And that same day, I was like, it was 2 weeks after my birthday. I had just got birthday money my dad had given me. I said, she goes, do you want to get the kit? And I was like, yeah, I'll get the kit. And she's like, you gonna do the business? She's like, actually, you're gonna do the business. And I was like, okay, whatever. I had no idea what I was getting into. And it was, it'll be 5 years in August. And the growth that has happened from that, and like the amazing women I've met, I call them my work wives, like that I have met, and just the generosity of this company, the generosity of Gary and Mary, and the retreats, and like that they were like, Gary was always open to talk. Mary has always been so accepting to talk, and just everything. This company just gives and gives and gives, and they love so deeply. And I just know that like God brought this into my life to show me that I could lead and that I was worthy. And I built this business from my kitchen table, so no one can say, oh, I need an office, no, I need this, I need that. No, you just need to believe in yourself and believe in the power that God has put on your heart, and that you can, no one can take what He has given to you. And so that is where that's where my business started.
That's beautiful. Can you still hold the mic and give a tip to the audience on how to grow their business?
You me? That's my tip. Don't give up. Like, you may be overlooked. You may think that other people don't believe in you, but you have to believe in yourself. Don't look for your upline to give you all your answers. Somebody said this to me before when I was super like, well, I need somebody to talk to. I need this. Your upline was only responsible for giving you your kit. You purchasing that kit. After that, this is yours. You are the CEO of your company. This is your company. And who you bring into this company is like gonna be your family. I mean, your downline is your family forever. So foster them, believe in them, don't give up on them. You wouldn't want it, you gotta teach them that this is their business and that they can grow it, and this income is going to go for generations. I wrote something in our group, my co-founder for Black Diamonds, Yoshika, and I, we write in our group, we have an amazing, I mean, we have 675 members now. Last year, Yoshika and I had a little luncheon. There was 23 of us, and we had like 70 people, not even 70 people in the group. And we're like, next year, this is going to be huge. Don't give up on your dreams, no matter what anybody says to you. You know, thank goodness we have people who believed in us, but not everybody does. And we believed in each other, you know? And when we started talking about starting something, we did it. We didn't even we're like, let's see what happens. We thought we'd have like 15, 16 members, you know? And we were like, when we get to convention next year, we're gonna grab everybody, which we did, everybody that we could see. You're black, come. Come over here. You got, let me add you to this group. We didn't know what we were doing, but we just wanted community so badly. And look at us now, look at this room. I'm trying not to cry, that's why I was trying not to put on release. But don't give up. If you have a dream, if you believe in yourself, and you believe in what these oils are doing, which we are all here because we do, like, just don't give up.
Don't give up.
No matter what.
That's the tip. Right. So we're gonna let Karen give her tip. But before we do, I just have to write on your coattails. Some of you probably saw me at Global Headquarters. If you did and you look like you look, I pulled you to the side to make sure you were in this room. And I have to tell you that there are so many who did not make it into this room. This is a village. You guys must continue to share this message with everybody. Make sure you're hashtagging, because I told everybody, look for YL Village online. You will find all of the people. So keep that in mind as we move forward. Karen?
Okay, my tip. The biggest thing I could say, and the biggest thing I believe that the Lord showed me, is I needed to see myself where I desired to be. Because if you can't see yourself and you don't know where then you don't know where you're going. And I needed to know where I was going. And as I was moving through things, from rank to rank to rank, it wasn't hard. none of it's hard. It's not hard. You just have to be diligent at what you're doing. And again, keep that vision. But in order for me to make it to Diamond, I specifically remember hearing the voice of the Lord saying, Karen, you want to be Diamond because you're the one, you're in a crowd of people, who wants to be Diamond? Woo! Woo! You know, everybody's screaming, I want to be, I want to be. But he's like, you don't see it. You don't envision yourself being there. And so it wasn't until I could catch the vision of me being Diamond, being crowned, being royal, that things started changing for me personally. So I would just encourage you, see yourself where you want to be and enjoy the journey. It's not a race, and it's for yourself maybe. You're not in competition with anybody else. Enjoy each rank. It's all a part of the journey. Because at each stop, you're going to be able to say, this is where I was, this is how life was for me, and because someone's going to ask you. So I have enjoyed Diamond for 4 years, and next year it will be crowned.
The tip, envision yourself royal. You already are. It is in your DNA.
Yeah.
Latch onto it. Daryl.
My name is Daryl Jordan, and I am one half of Jen and Daryl Jordan, and we're World Crown Diamonds in Young Living. We came to and through Young Living through fam. My sister-in-law is April Pointer. She's also a World Crown Diamond.
I'm in his downline.
And we entered into this. It's a backstory. If you've seen in Asian culture the yin and the yang, the black and the white, complete opposites, that's my sister and my wife and my sister-in-law. Like, they didn't even get along until they were 30-something years old. And my wife studied Western medicine and decided not to become a doctor because she wanted to really focus in on family. And my sister-in-law studied all of the nutritional, all of the just natural. And so that's just the way that they live life. So we would go and visit, because families do that, my sister-in-law, and she would have all this nasty food and all this nasty stuff. And I'd bear through it and I'd say, well, at least my life expectancy might be longer if I keep eating this crap. I remember one time she sent us a bottle of oil. It was not Young Living. It had a paper wrapper on it, and my wife went ballistic. She's like, what is this junk you're sending us? Blah, blah, blah. Well, she got off that through her own journey, if you've heard her story, and she got into Young Living, and she sent us a kit. And we were gonna be in Young Living. Now, so we were in Young Living. And if you've heard my wife's story, it's way longer than 2 minutes, but I mean, April will call and be like, how's that lemon oil working for you? My wife, oh, it's working great. And my sister-in-law was like, man, it sure has lasted a long time. My wife's like, I know, it's like a miracle. It's like, but part of my story is I went to go work at a mega church in Lexington, Kentucky. And the pastor asked me, I've been playing saxophone for 39 years. And the pastor asked me to play saxophone in his sermon. And I came to rehearsal on Thursday night. And Friday morning I woke up and I had the flu. And I won't say that Young Living healed me in 6 hours, but I'm just saying I was ready to go in 6 hours. And whereas other people who had the flu were down for 4 days. And I said, we need to stop making fun of your sister. I was a big perpetrator, the aria diffuser, I called it a cauldron. April loves the Lord, and she's almost hyper-religious sometimes, so I knew this is a way to dig in at an end. I was like, that looks like a cauldron. Are you a witch? That's why she loves me so much right now. But at that moment, I got all in. And then a few months later, Jen, I gave her a cell phone. She began to do her studies because she was great with all of the Western medicine stuff. And she began to see all of the correlations, began to study NIH.gov, Journal of American Medicine. It's like, that, the oils do that. And the oils are, and that was it. And we were blowing and going. But the history and the way we got into it so deeply, I'll just say it. We had a daughter we were known as a family with a sick daughter. We go to the hospital several times a year, and we'd have at least one hospital stay a year. And one particular hospital stay, and I'm working as an associate pastor. We're in Dallas, Texas. I go to a bowl game. Jen calls me and says, hey, daughter's sick. She goes to the hospital. Like, they're not going to let her go home. So we drove home, and they flew my daughter back on a helicopter, and she had two wonderful assistants, and their names were Mary and Gary. So I think God was trying to tell us something.
That is an incredible journey to young living.
So now we are in, we were going to be in this all the way through, and we are excited, and I feel honored. I know that for me, when I go to any Young Living event that's Royal Crown Diamond, and with my rank, I'm the only person my color that I see. And I've gotten to see Lauren and Todd come in, and more people coming to corporate, and I'm excited. But I want to let you know that my commitment is to be the best man that God can make me be, because I feel like I do represent God, my family, and my entire race. And I don't take that lightly. So whenever I'm walking around town, I'm going to represent God's very best. Because if I do, then that's going to be, I hope, a blessing for my entire race. That's how I see it. You may not see it that way, but that's how I see it. And I'm always watching my P's and Q's, and I'm always keeping it, 100. And but as more and more of y'all become Royal Crown Diamonds, and we have rooms full of Royal Crown Diamonds, my color. Well, all bets are off. I'm gonna act a fool.
We all gonna act the fool. If you sit around 5 millionaires, you're gonna be the 6th. So let's say if you sit around 5 Royal Crown Diamonds, you're gonna be the 6th. So let's make sure that we continue to support all of the leadership in the field. Get their knowledge, soak it up, find out what is being done so that this business is a business that can be done over and over again. You do not have to recreate the wheel. The wheel has already been created. You have all of the information you need. Make sure you take advantage.
So to that point, I'll just think that was my tip. It does, it's all of us, right? It does take a village. If we live in a culture where we don't like to be told what to do, we don't like to do what we don't want to do. We only want to do, and we really a lot of times seek our own wisdom. We needed to humble ourselves and listen to my sister-in-law because she had the wisdom, and all we needed was the discernment to be able to say, this is the way that we should go. Discernment. There's a lot of talk out there, and it's not all true. Just because it has the Young Living, just because it's sold in LSP, don't mean it's true for you. Okay? So wisdom and discernment, and really taking a look at the entire village and seeing the direct path that God has for you in this business. Because, I've met people who are diamonds and above who all they do is raindrops, or all they do is ninja red. So if you're trying to do 100 things and they just got to the top doing one, then what's your path? And that's kind of where I am right now. That's for everybody. Just what is your unique path to being everything that God would have you to be the most significant in this world? That's my tip for being at the top of Young Living.
Here's the tip. Be humble. Seek wisdom. And ask for discernment.
Since we are taping, I won't give the exact, but Daryl and Jen are one of the highest paid leaders in the company.
Out of everybody.
The top. Consistent.
Can I just brag on their downline? They have Lindsay Moreno underneath them, Monique McLean. Shoot. They have so many Royal Crown Diamonds underneath them. Carol E. Gardner. Wow. Joanna Malone, Annie Hauser. Half of the Royal Crown Diamond panel is underneath them. That is God's great.
So we're going to keep moving, and we're going to move on to Jeffrey.
Hello, hi everybody. I'm very blessed to be here with all of you. I'm the first black person, black diamond. I'm the first. I've been here. I've been here for 23 years. I've been here, experienced everything, traveled the world with Gary and Mary. I'm one of his top facilitators, and anything he did, raindrop trainings, I facilitated emotional release classes. I traveled the world. I've done this. I've done thousands of raindrop therapies on people. I know the product. I'm a product of the product. I use every single Young Living product. There's nobody here that uses more products than me. There's nobody. Because I've been doing it, I've been using every single product, every out-of-stock product. I use them all. And our journey to this is pretty amazing. I was flat out broke when we started. I was driving a Fred Flintstone car. I had holes in the floorboards. You can see out, you can see the road. When I was driving this, we didn't even have $80 when we started to buy our first kit. My wife and I, Jalen, we bought our kit. It was $80. It saved for 3 weeks. So when you tell me you're broke and you can't do this, I know broke. I didn't have money for food. I used to show up at people's houses when I started this to eat. So I really had a lot of struggles. I went through a bankruptcy right before I started this. Not before, a few years before this. I didn't even have a credit card when we started. When I started this,
you got the baby crying, Joe.
I know about broke. There was no internet when I started. Internet didn't exist when I started.
Wow.
So we had a 5-page price list. We had a tiny little Gary Young book, and we had to really fight to share. And it was voodoo when we were sharing essential oils. It was voodoo because people didn't know about it. Like everyone, you guys have it so easy now. Essential oils are everywhere. Everyone is like essential oils. You buy them, you get them in Walmart. They're no quality anywhere, but they're everywhere. So it's a blessing to be here and to do this. And when we got started, a Native American man showed us the oils. Milo Beaver and his friend. They put oils on Gail Ann. She had a tremendous experience at the end of the healing session. And then she came out and I smelled her. And she smelled so good I couldn't stop hugging her. And that was my first experience into oils. I started using her oils over and over again. We got our first kit. It was amazing. And I'm a professional network marketer. I've been doing network marketing for 45 years. So this is what I do. You can drop me anywhere in the world. I can build a business if I believe in the product. So I can teach you all about learning how to do the business. But it's because of these products that I kept using these products because they were so good. But at first, when I first got into Young Living, I was like, I'm black. I'm going to be Young Living, so put oils on people. That didn't happen. That didn't happen, and I'm not going to do this as a business. But I started to use them, and I really got engrossed in using them. And after about a year of using Gail Ann's oils, she finally told me, you have to get your own oils. So she forced me to buy my own kit. That's the only reason I got involved. I bought my own kit, and then I had a disaster. I was working at another company. I was gonna get a $10,000 check, and they went bankrupt. So that check bounced 4 times, rubber wall, bounced 4 times on me. And then Galen said, then I went into the deep depression for about a year. And Galen finally said to me, well, you're really good at network marketing. You've been really depressed. You're not bringing any money in. You're not doing anything. It was either go work at TCBY or do Young Living with 16-year-olds. And so finally what I did was I'd say, I think I'll do Young Living. And I've been doing Young Living ever since. And when we went to our first convention, we were broke. Oh, we saw Gary and Mary. We went on Galen's credit cards. And we learned a lot. We saw at that convention, Dr. Tenowell taught the 3 days before, and then Gary and Mary taught. There were 300 people at this convention. And what I saw at that convention really convinced me that I needed to be here. Galen, there were only old white people there. That's all I saw. It's old white people. I was like, holy shit, there's nobody here. No Asian people. There was nobody here. There was nobody here. I was like, holy God, there's nobody here.
Jeffrey, I'm so sorry to stop you, but we're going to have to move on to Karen. We're going to be able to network after. Karen, we're going to need your journey to Young Living.
In 2 minutes. I know you.
I'm going to be very brief, and I would like to tell you all, I'm a mother of 9 children and 30 grandchildren. I have not done anything with my business on internet. I'm probably one of those more old-fashioned people. I believe in mouth to mouth, face to face. I always tell somebody that if you see somebody, well, they have the 3-step rule. The 3 feet rule or something like that. Anyway, you see somebody like 3-step rule. Within 3 steps, you talk to them about what you have to offer. My model is, if I see you across the room and I catch your eye, I'm coming to get you signed up. So anyway, my journey is pretty interesting. I had the opportunity of listening to the Missing Link CD. I had never breathed a product. I didn't even try a product. I knew nothing about it. But what drew me to this company was the truth that Dr. Young shared in the Missing Link CD. I felt compelled to learn about the products because I knew of a lady who had a son that had got kicked in the side with a soccer ball, and he was dying, literally couldn't put a teaspoon of water down. Through a series of talking to people, because I had so many children, I thought, man, I would hope if somebody knew something this powerful, they would look me up and tell me there's something so simple as maybe apply an oil to the bottom of the feet or breathe the oil, and maybe it would change or regulate your body. So I literally got a chance to talk to this mother in the university hospital, standing by her son's bed that was dying. And I said, ma'am, I don't know you, and you don't know me, but I'm learning about something. You might be a benefit to your son. Are you interested in learning something natural that could possibly help your son? She said, absolutely. Well, then I had talked to Melvin, who's my upline diamond, in Maryland, New York. They got me signed up. I bought my first starter kit, sight unseen. Melvin was getting ready to come to the Young Living Convention, and as he was sharing, I said, you mean the convention about the oils? He said, yeah. He said, the founder of the company, he has a convention in Utah. I'm like, man, I sure would like to go learn from the man himself. So I asked my husband, I said, honey, do you mind if I go check this out? So within 2 weeks of hearing about Young Living, I was at my first convention in a room with 2 total strangers. I had a lady 20 years younger than me, and one 20 years older than me. I never flew anywhere without my family. So this was very unusual. So anyway, it was kind of cool because these girls, you know how we are with our oils, they were pulling their oils out, they were pulling their oils out. I had a cough. They gave me some fees and it cleared my body cleared the cough. I don't even know how to say it. Right? So I do need to say something really quickly. I went to that conference and I was sitting in the back of the room, mesmerized and amazed at how powerful Ninja Red was. They showed a video of how the antioxidant properties in Ninja Red was so powerful that it took 8 bottles of Zango at that time to give you the same benefit as 1 ounce of Ninja Red. That's 8 25-ounce bottles. It took 12 bottles of Tahitian Noni to give you the same benefit as 1 ounce of Ninja Red. And what really jazzed me up is they had van loads of Himalayan goji berry going across the stream, and it would take multiple van loads of the other wolfberry drink to give you the same benefit as 1 ounce of Ninja Red. I said, doggone, I'm gonna go home and do a Ninja Red takeover. Guess what? That's what I did, and I also had a goal of putting Young Living on the map in Michigan. So we did it. I ended up selling more Ninja Red in less than a year's time than anybody in the U.S. or around the world. I am your Ninja Red queen, just in case y'all don't know. I won airfare. I won 4 Rome complete. Yes, she did. I won a contest that nobody even knew was going on, and it took me a year to figure out how I won first place. So you don't have to know all the business stuff. Just be willing to let somebody know what we have to offer. Get it in people's hands, and the rest will happen.
So Miss Karen gave us share the love. You got it? They don't? Let them know where it is. And Jeffrey made sure to tell us to be a product of the product. Get the toxins out of your homes, out of your refrigerators, out of your children's lives, and make sure that you are a product of the product. And we are going to close out with Ms. Karen Young.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. My legal name is Tracy Daly. My Facebook name is Tracy Young. When I started this business, which is not too long ago, my name was Tracy Young. I started because I was looking for solutions for my son. My son, he's 19 now, But he was born with loads of issues with asthma, eczema. He has a lot of food allergies and still does. They say they grow out of him. He didn't. He was allergic to my breast milk. So with all the issues that he had in life and it coming out in his skin and in his breathing, a couple of years ago when I started using Young Living, is I was looking for a solution. I was paying $300 a month in co-pays for inhalers and creams for my son. And this is my favorite David. He's my second son. I have two boys, so they're 8 years apart. But I was looking for a solution for him. And because of all his issues with breathing, I was already used to clean living. I didn't use chemicals for laundry soap. I was already wise to all that stuff. I used another MLM company products that they sent me every day. Every month I got a box for clean products, what I thought was clean, for laundry soap and all that kind of stuff. And it was as clean as I knew how it to be, but I used that company for at least 10 years, getting a monthly wellness box for that solution. But at $300 copay a month, chemicals that were not healing him, not helping him, and weren't even really band-aiding them very well, I wanted to try oils. So I started using oils, and we no longer have $300 worth a month of prescription. In the meantime, I started using them for myself, and I'm going to be 55 next week. And one of the things as we age, we always think, I can do what I used to do when I was 20. Right? We always think we can do that.
Yeah, that 5K taught me that today.
And so, as I started to use oil, I finally found relief for myself. I have not experienced not one symptom of perimenopause, and I have all my parts. So that's what the benefit was me. I traveled to Europe on vacation. I met a man. His name is Elliot. I learned that he had sleep issues. Sold him a kit. 18 months later, I married him, which is why my name is Tracy Daly. I have a family in the UK, and because I travel a lot, I have people all over. So my story is so much more than that. But I'm going to give you
Can you give us a tip?
I can give you a tip.
Perfect.
So here's what I always do. I build with my heart. I teach with my heart. I teach. I teach classes. I teach with my heart. But I build my business, or I stack my business, or strategically place my business with my head. Yeah. I would tell people, if you got 8 children, if I had 8 sons, I'd have 8 legs. Yep. But see me later if you have questions about that. If you don't understand the whole business, at least understand your strategy. If you don't know where you're going, you're going to have a hard time getting there. So you're not going to know how to get there if you don't know where you're going. But try plugging into the GPS a destination that you don't know what it is, and see if you get there. You're not gonna, and if you're 1 degree off in the ship, if you're 1 degree off, you go 1 degree off. You go 1 degree off long enough, you're going to be off. You're not going to make it. One of the things that my husband and I decided is we were just sharing with friends and family because of the wellness that we experienced. One of the things we realized is that everybody on this planet has a God-given purpose, and you cannot fulfill that purpose if you are not well. And with that, we share with everybody. I'm about this far from caring what anybody in my life thinks, and just sharing, because everybody has a purpose, and they cannot fulfill it if they're well, whatever that purpose is.
That is fabulous. So last tip, make sure you are well and spread wellness and set your success GPS so you know where you're going. We're only 5 minutes over, y'all. Give a big round of applause for the panel, please.
So we have to vacate this room.
Yeah. So, no, we do have to make it. I'm not good with following the rules, and so we're not giving the rules on goal because there's more people in here than 123 that didn't have tickets, and so we didn't have enough oils. So this is how we do it. We say give the oils out, and who doesn't get an oil, we'll get you an oil. Who didn't get an oil? We get 15 in-house.
Oh,
Go ahead. So, let's get these out. Let's get these out. Whoever gets the wheel. All right. So here's the thing.
I just want to tell you guys real quick. A visionary goes into the future and comes back to the present to tell us what we're about to experience. So I want to say thanks to Sabrina for starting Black Diamonds with, I forgot the other lady. Yashika. But then I also want to thank Tashina for having the vision to bring this together, y'all. And the reason why I want to celebrate you, sis, is because, you know, we often do too much separate stuff. We often too separate. And the unity that you've created within this small subculture and group of young living, I just want to pay homage to you, sis, and tell you as a brand ambassador, it makes me feel great being a part of this company for 7 years to see so much melanin in the building. So thank you.
So we did shut down, and we did get some feedback. We all going to hear what she had promised is you have all the emails. Okay.
So via Eventbrite, we're gonna move the party to the next room. So that's what we're gonna do. Via Eventbrite, I have people's email address or it's written down. If I don't have your information, I will get it and I will get it to the team. They're gonna send out a 1-question survey so that we can get your feedback. But we have to be gracious hosts. We do have individuals coming in. We only have food for 125 individuals. I'm not gonna eat. So keep that in mind. Life Science Publishers has books from the authors we have in the room. They're gonna move to the next room as well. Those authors are here to sign your books. You can buy them on site, but we can start to grab the food, move it to the next room.
We have to share the love. Whoa, wait. We have to share the love. Lauren, so we're just not running, we have to share some love.